name is Veronica, and you're watching Dontaesboxingnation. How did that one do?
That was very good. Do just maybe one or two more, okay? Dontaesboxingnation, what's going on, guys? Man, those walls are really closing in, and they're starting to close in fast on Teofimo Lopez and old media. And when I say old media right now, I'm mainly talking about the grand wizard of old media, Chris Mannix, who you see standing over to the far right. For those of you guys who don't know, Chris Mannix is real good friends with Teofimo Lopez. Teo, he ended up saying a little bit too much a while back when he was interviewing or doing an interview with Chris Mannix. For those of you guys who don't know, Chris Mannix was one of the first people to start calling Teofimo undisputed, completely disrespecting another Dazn fighter, which makes it so crazy because once again, Devin is a Dazn fighter, Chris works for Dazn, and he's blatantly lying, calling Teo undisputed when he knows that the Dazn fighter, Devin Haney, has the WBC belt. Well, anyway, Teo is doing this interview with Chris, and in the middle of the interview, he says to Chris, you already know what time it is. Me and you talk all the time. You already know what it is. And then he continues to talk. And this explains why Chris has always told Teofimo and Ryan Garcia, they're the ones with the name, they can fight whoever they want to fight. Chris has never really asked Teofimo about fighting Devin. He's never really asked Ryan Garcia about fighting Devin. In fact, when Jojo Diaz beat Fortuna, Chris Mannix didn't even mention Devin Haney's name, knowing that he was fighting for Devin Haney's belt in that title eliminator fight. Chris Mannix, he asked Oscar De La Hoya after that fight, can you make the Ryan Garcia versus Jojo Diaz fight, completely disrespecting and disregarding the WBC champion Devin Haney. Because once again, deep down, Chris Mannix doesn't believe or doesn't have the confidence in his buddy Teofimo to beat someone like Devin Haney. Deep down, he feels that Devin Haney will most likely beat him. So he's trying to go out of his way to protect his buddy, but to no avail because the walls keep closing in. And the confrontation that Teo and Devin had proved that. And on top of it, they did an interview after that together that surprisingly Dazn pretty much buried. The crazy thing is, this had to be the biggest interview that Dazn has done in probably years, right? And they didn't even put it up on their YouTube channel. And I went to the Dazn app and didn't see it there either. Why would they do that? And I have a good idea why. I'm going to actually play the clip. I'm going to play the interview. I want you guys to listen to how Devin Haney completely shut down every single thing that Teofimo said. Those of you guys who don't know, Teofimo Lopez has always been uncomfortable with confrontations with Devin Haney. And this interview is the reason why. When Teofimo was doing an interview on The Boxing Voice, they said, we can go ahead and call up Devin or Bill Haney right now. And you know what Teo said? He said, if you guys call him up, I'm out of here. That's what he said. If you guys call him up, I'm out of here, right? And when Devin pulled up, when it comes to this altercation that they had, the confrontation, when Devin pulled up, as they were going back and forth, Teo, he says, man, this is weak. This whole thing we doing right now, this is whack, man. This is weak. Why would it be weak? This is how you build a fight. We see fighters do this all the time. And I never seen either one of them uncomfortable saying that this was weak. It's called free promotion. Just like Teo, you were happy when you were in the ring standing next to Lomachenko and you guys were facing off, right? That's how you promote a fight. But why all of a sudden are you uncomfortable when it comes to Devin Haney in this week now? Anyway, let's go ahead and go into this clip, and I'm going to break it down as it's playing. Check it out, guys.
Devin Haney to join this conversation. Devin, Sergio will stand in between.
All right, guys. Now, the first thing you will notice, and you can clearly see it in the video. Matter of fact, the video, you guys can watch it on the New Media channel. I'll put the link in the description box. But the first thing you'll notice is Teo's body language. He makes it very clear he's extremely annoyed that they're bringing Devin Haney into the interview. He even had a surprised look, almost. I don't know if he knew or didn't, but he had a look like he was surprised because he starts shaking his head right away like, oh my God, I got to deal with this guy everywhere I go. This man, Devin, is everywhere. He won't get off my back. That was how he shook his head and reacted when he seen Devin Haney come over. But when it comes to Devin Haney, he's happy to be there. He's ready to make the fight. And Teo should be feeling the same way, but he doesn't. Let's continue.
Devin, what was that conversation like?
We don't fight for free here.
Devin, what was that conversation like?
He's not going to do a motherfucking thing, so we ain't got to worry about nobody fighting. But anyways, continue.
Well, what was that conversation like for you moments ago?
How does it feel that the only way you're relevant is through me?
Relevant through you? What are you talking about?
Yeah, that's the only way.
I was relevant before
you hold that WBC belt.
What are you
like
talking about? You're a clown, bro. You're a clown. So how I'm relevant? How I'm relevant because of you, but I got more followers than you. I have more followers than you, though. What are you talking about?
Look what it did to Ryan Garcia. We all talk about.
So I'm relevant because of you, but I have more followers than you.
Look how many belts I hold as a world champion.
But look how much money I make, more than you.
No, you don't.
Okay, Eddie, do we want to ask Eddie?
No, you don't.
Do we want to ask Eddie?
You talk about followers.
All right then. All right then.
This is the problem with society today. You see what I'm saying? You see, that's the problem with society today.
Exactly. So
it's all about followers.
Yeah, okay.
It's not about followers. That's why you guys fake it till you make it, right?
Make what? What are you talking about?
You've always
you want to make the fight happen or not?
Yes, I already told you.
Guys, let's talk about.
Now, let me just stop right there for a second, guys. This is why I always say Teo and his father, they need to stay as far away from a microphone and a camera as possible. For these reasons right here. As you guys see right here, every single time Teo opens his mouth and he says something to Devin Haney, he exposes himself and he leaves himself wide open for huge counterpunches. Teo made the mistake of claiming that he's the one that is making Devin Haney relevant, his name, as if he's a bigger name and a bigger draw than Devin Haney, right? So Devin comes back with statistical facts. How are you bigger than me when I have more followers than you on social media and I make more money than you? So since there's no way Teo can come back and counter that, he starts talking about other things. Then he says, oh, well, I got all the belts, right? So in other words, he's acknowledging, okay, yeah, you're right. You are more relevant than me. You are a bigger draw than me, but hey, I got all the belts though. And that's when Devin Haney came back and he said, I make more money than you. And that's when Teo really messed up, because Teo's natural instinct is to just say things to save face, as opposed to speaking the truth, admitting when someone is right, which is what he should have did. Instead, he makes the mistake of saying, no, you don't. No, you don't. You don't make more money than me. And then once again, he's messing with someone that has receipts. It's not like he's just talking to followers on his Instagram going live. You're face to face with someone who has receipts. So what does Devin Haney do? He starts to pull out receipts. Oh, okay. Let's get Eddie Hearn over here. You want to ask Eddie Hearn right now? Once again, Teofimo is like, okay, you got me beat. So then he looks to his buddy. As you notice, he keeps looking to his buddy, Chris Mannix. He never looks at Sergio Mora. He's only looking at Chris Mannix because they are close friends. And he's saying to Chris Mannix, you see how these guys are today? See, because he can't respond to the question of, do you want to bring Eddie Hearn over here? So he has to deflect. He has to think of, what do I say now? This bastard gonna keep pulling out receipts every time I open my damn mouth. With that being said, let's get back to the interview.
Let's talk about
the only reason why this
Look, you two are two elite guys in this division, young guys in this division. All right, well, we'll put it this way. In your mind, why has a fight between Teofimo Lopez and Devin Haney not happened at this point?
Because of him. Because of him. You don't want to make the fight happen.
Wow. I never said no to any fight. I fought Vasily Lomachenko when you guys had the opportunity to fight him, and y'all never took it. So please, don't tell me that.
So how did I get the WBC belt?
I took less money.
How did I get the WBC belt?
I took less money.
Tell me how I got the WBC belt.
You fought a guy that was 58th ranked.
Tell me how.
Not even the top 50.
Okay.
Not even the top 50.
So how did I get the WBC belt?
Look it up on BoxRec. Who the freak is that guy that he's talking about?
Exactly.
Who?
Thank you.
You never fought anybody.
Okay.
Ever.
So how did I get the belt?
Okay,
how did I get the belt?
True.
How did I get the belt?
How?
Because Loma didn't want to fight me. Same way you don't want to fight me. Same way you don't want to fight me.
Nobody want to fight you.
You don't want to fight me.
That's a dream.
You don't want to fight me.
Language.
You don't want to fight me. You don't want to fight me.
Take control of your interview. You have a fight. You have a fight against George Kambosos. You have a fight on December 3rd, hopefully against Jojo Diaz.
For sure.
Do you believe that the fight against Devin Haney will happen early next year?
It's got to happen. I'm tired of this, dude.
We're going to make it happen on Dazn. We're going to make it happen on Dazn.
Let's end right on that. We agree.
You heard it here.
We
agree on
something.
Dazn.
Yeah, tired.
We agree on something.
We're going to make it happen on Dazn.
I'm tired of this kid, man.
Teofimo Lopez.
Show me. Show me you're tired of me.
Teofimo
Show me you're tired
Lopez.
of me.
I will.
All right, guys, so once again, Teofimo, he stuck his foot in his mouth when he started talking about nobody wanted to fight Lomachenko. See, once again, when you're someone on the internet remaining anonymous and you're just posting comments trolling, you can say stuff like that because no one knows who you are, right? You're not talking to someone face to face. I mean, don't get me wrong, a lot of these cats get checked on the internet, but when you're doing it face to face, it's impossible to push that narrative and not get checked for it. Because once again, there's something called facts. And facts and the truth are like kryptonite to people like Teofimo Lopez. You guys see, all Devin had to do is ask Teofimo a rhetorical question, and he asked the question almost 10 times, right? And after asking the question so many times, never could Teo answer the question because he knows the answer, and the answer would basically shut down everything that he just said, right? Of course, Teo knew the answer to the question, but he knew it would make him look stupid if he revealed what the answer to the question was. Devin Haney has a WBC belt because that was Lomachenko's belt before, right? Did you guys know before Devin Haney became Lomachenko's mandatory, did you guys know Loma, he always fought his mandatories? He didn't even wait to fight them. As soon as he got a new mandatory, he fought them right away. It wasn't until Devin Haney became his mandatory that he decided to just vacate his belt. Guys, why do you think Ryan Garcia has said in multiple interviews that Devin Haney would be his most difficult challenge at 135? He didn't say Lomachenko. He didn't say Teofimo. He didn't say Tank. He said Devin Haney would be the most difficult challenge. Do you guys know what Lomachenko said after his very competitive fight against Luke Campbell? Lomachenko said that was his most difficult fight of his career. That's what Lomachenko said. And the reason why that fight was so difficult, because Loma has problems dealing with boxers that have long arms, they have a height and reach advantage over him, and they know how to use it. That's kryptonite for Lomachenko. So when Lomachenko sees a guy like Devin Haney, he sees a fighter that has the reach and the height advantage over him like Luke Campbell did, but the difference is Devin is way better. He's far more athletic. He has a lot more speed, defense, rhythm, and everything else you can think about. Now, for you decafs that will say something crazy like, oh, but Lomachenko, he fought Nakatani, that guy is tall. And I've already made the point. It's not just the height and the reach alone, but it's knowing how to use that advantage. Nakatani is a tall fighter that fights like Antonio Margarito or Corrales. He gives up his height because he's not trying to box you. And he has a horrible defense, which is why he often gets knocked down in fights. You can have an advantage, but you have to know how to use the advantage. And Devin, he knows how to use it. It's just like when Robert Easter, when he fought against Mikey Garcia, he was taller than Errol Spence, but he did not know how to use his advantages the way Errol Spence used his same advantages of height and reach. It's the same concept when it comes to this situation with Devin versus like a Nakatani. That was just a little education for the decafs. Decafs for my new subscribers. It stands for dumb casual ass fans. With that being said, let's move on. I want to talk about Chris Mannix. Once again, you guys have seen a different energy from Chris Mannix, and this is what I meant at the beginning of the video when I told you guys the walls are closing in. You see, they never wanted this whole thing to explode the way it's exploded, right? They couldn't control this. Devin Haney meeting up with Teo face to face, right? Chris Mannix, that was out of Chris Mannix's control. So now Chris is kind of forced to do the right thing and push for a fight that the fans really want to see. I mean, I can see Chris Mannix talking to Teofimo right now, and they're on the phone, and Chris is like, look, man, what do you want me to do? I tried to do everything I could to protect you, but there's nothing I can do anymore. I tried everything I could do, but there's nothing I can do anymore, Teo. Because if I keep going completely against the grain, it's going to eventually expose me to the whole world. But it's too late because new media has already exposed you, man. Everybody know what you are. Everyone already knows what you're all about. So now without Teofimo having the force field, the shields of Chris Mannix and Max Kellerman, with him no longer having that shield, he's extremely exposed right now. It's going to be very difficult for Teo to find a way out of this fight. I'm sure, especially if Devin gets the Jojo Diaz fight and beats him. They are going to put an enormous amount of pressure on Teo to take that fight next. Something else I want you guys to pay attention to. Did you guys notice how Chris Mannix, he said, you guys are two elite fighters in the division. And he keeps talking like, when is this fight going to happen? Why is it not happening? Right? He's sounding extremely optimistic about the fight happening. After the interview, they don't even put it up on the Dazn channel. How is that possible? Two elite fighters in an interview going back and forth, selling the fight, and you guys are not even going to put it up on the channel? It doesn't make sense. For the last year, we've been calling these guys the Super Four, the Final Four, the Four Horsemen, however you want to word it. Basically meaning these are the biggest and the best lightweight fighters, at least when it comes to the next generation. So once again, if you have two guys beefing and they're talking on a microphone, doing an interview at the same time, why would you bury the interview? Why is this interview not on the Dazn channel right now? Did Teofimo ask them not to put it up? Did Teofimo collude with Chris Mannix and make sure it wasn't put up? Once again, it could be argued that this was the best interview we've ever seen on Dazn, because you have two fighters, two elite fighters, talking stuff, going back and forth, basically promoting what would be a huge fight. Man, I know Teofimo, he had a conversation with Chris Mannix after that. Like, man, how could you guys let Devin Haney do that to me? I thought you were my friend, man. And Chris is telling him like, hey, man, what can I do? It's out of my hands. And after that conversation, this interview was thrown in the trash. That's how it probably went down. All we know for a fact is, once again, they did not upload this interview, and it makes absolutely no sense. With that being said, I'm gonna wrap this video up. That's all I got for now, guys. I'm on to the next one. All right, now check this out, guys. If you're looking to repair eczema scars, burns and bruises, dark spots and blemishes, then this right here is the perfect product for you guys. It's called LO Key Face and Body Oil. Athletes and top-ranking boxers, they're also using it after training to reduce swelling, inflammation, and to ease the pain. So get yours today. Go to LODekey.com, like them on Facebook, and follow them on Instagram.
Get ready to take your striking game to the next level with the Focus Ball. Dramatically improve footwork, timing, head movement, hand-eye coordination, reflex, and overall fight IQ. It's lightweight and extremely portable, so you can train every time, everywhere. When you don't have a coach to do mitt work, get a Focus Ball. When you don't have a heavy bag to hit, get a Focus Ball. When you don't have a sparring partner, get yourself a Focus Ball. And when you just want to have fun punching and kicking, get a Focus Ball. When you train with the Focus Ball, you train your eyes and your brain to read punches so that you can hit and not get hit, making this very simple device a must-have for all combat sports athletes and enthusiasts alike. So if you want to take your striking game to the next level, don't wait. Get the Focus Ball now.